So this is my Nerf rotofury. So if you focus in on here, this is the main mechanism of what I've got going on. Let me just put down the phone, sorry. With this assembled, you can see that this bar is part of my priming rod, and that's all attached as one mechanical unit, if you like to call it that. And this would move backwards and push this bar up, which in turn would change my whole lever, pivoting at the point of contact of the rod and the tube, and that will pull it back and prime the gun. And while I do that, if you can try and imagine it, as I pull this back, pushes the whole unit forward, as you can see there, and as a result, that would disengage, and then allows for the rest of the rotating mechanism to catch up and rotate the the cylinder. That's the gist of it. I'm probably not going to take this apart right now, but essentially I've got this as a tube with a hole drilled on either side with a kind of like a Y-bone construction that would be resulting in this part, and you can have a hole to pivot around if you'd like. Just watch out for some movement in the up and down motion if you understand a bit of the mechanics there. Anyway, if you play around with it, you'll understand, and there's some ways to get around it as well. But I just thought this was easier, just drilling a hole there and having a pivoting point there and there. But you need to kind of understand what's happening, or else it's hard to kind of tweak, because this area has been fiddled around for many hours just to get it to work right. You can also make sure when you make the inner tubes, you can make the length from this point to the connection point somewhat adjustable, or else you're going to find yourself either having something work perfectly or not at all. You want to be able to adjust it, or else you're really going to struggle with moving it back and forwards. Anyway, some other stuff I've done to my rotofury is down here. Any connection points to any of the rotating mech. Underneath those as well, I've put some epoxy putty just to give it more rigidity, and it won't flex, and just to help with the rotating. Up here I've got a spring that is held across onto the black bar here, and that pushes against the shell and pushes this plunger forwards, just to make sure it always has a good seal. Otherwise this long tube might not actually deliver enough power. I noticed today when I opened it up, the seal, the black felt, if you like to call it that, was touching, or was actually flipped around. It had been scraped off by the rotating of my cylinder, and so that wasn't sealing correctly, and that might be resulting my FPS drops, which I was surprised about this morning when I was at Melbourne Nerf War. Aside from that, just tweaked there, made it snugger. It feels better, and that's how I did my back there. I took a recon, I cut it in half, glued it together using super glue and flour, and that's about it. I probably won't go over how my front rotating mech was made yet. All I can say is good luck, because I used a metal bar, bent it around, and then pointed it out, and then into a Y shape, and then have it this material here, which is made of super glue and flour again, and then construct that to work with a paper clip. So yeah, that was hard. I initially had it without this this pen tube here, and what I did instead was I needed to make sure when I was primed up, this barrel wouldn't jiggle around, and I had magnets holding it at the front to make sure it was in place. However, that wasn't working, and every now and then I'll just move it back or something else, and then this would just catch onto the back of this paper clip. So I need to insert this in here so that each time I pull it back, it would always make sure that it wouldn't get caught on this. Yeah, it was not easy. Look, I'll be interested to see if you come up with your own versions of this. And yeah, here you go. Oh, also rear loading slots. Use the existing plastic there of the rotofury. I just drilled it out. Right there I've got 2 slots. That's from electrical conduit, just to make it a shape easier to guide when I put a Nerf dart in there. Like this. Anyway, yeah, have a good night and have fun with whatever you do in life. Good luck.